Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Onyx Tavern. This is your host, the Barkeep, once again joined by my favorite patron, Shadow Raptor.
Yeah, great to be back.
And what are we doing today, Shadow Raptor?
We are doing an audio commentary for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie.
Yes, the first movie from 1995 here. So this is a little bit different, new segment. I'm hoping us to get into, maybe do some episodes, maybe some other movies here in the future. But what we're going to go ahead and do is I'm going to let you guys know when to push play on your DVD or your Netflix, wherever you got. And hopefully we'll go ahead and sync up and you can listen to us talk about a movie that we did not make.
No, but I'm in my own process, making my own tokusatsu, but we can get into that later.
Yes, we will. So, I am on the Netflix version of the movie, but we are starting at counter 0. And so those of you following along, when I say now, go ahead and press play. And press play now.
There we go.
All right, 20th Century Fox. That was pretty good that, Fox Kids was able to, unlike some movies, instead of just going through a production company, they were actually able to produce it with these guys.
Every time I see this logo now, I just think of the Simpsons movie when Ralph Wiggum comes out and he goes, da, 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 da.
Yeah, they should go ahead and change that.
Put that all 20th Century Fox movies.
Now, I got to ask you about this opening, because it's not Star Wars, but I've been told that it's extremely lazy to do an opening crawl with a narration. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, that's lazy exposition at its finest. And all right. So with this opening title here, what does it say? It says 6 extraordinary teenagers.
Okay, but again, it's like a different continuity, but I think the point is because, again, this was at the height of Power Rangers fandom, and there are people who are coming to this movie for some reason that didn't know anything about it.
Parents.
So this is in broad strokes, and I think that would be helpful. I mean, I didn't gain anything from it because I was a religious watcher of the series.
I know, it's just nitpicking.
Okay, Mighty Morphin is missing. Why is that? You see that? Boom, it's gone. But Mighty Morphin was missing from
I love that lightning strike in that. Oh, yes. Yay! Time for stuff that has nothing to do with the day-to-day fight against evil.
Yes, I admit, when I first saw this, I was actually kind of excited. I was fooled in the trailer. I thought it was the White Ranger on the surfboard in the sky. But,
now that would have been amazing. I mean,
yeah, but they fooled us because we never saw the rest of this in the trailer. At least now I remember. And, of course, Broken Skull. They get the best parts in this movie, I think. Aside from Adam, but we'll get to his parts. If only she didn't tell them.
Bulk would have been spared an embarrassingly stupid role in Samurai.
Yeah. Now, the thing I like about this scene is that I know there were shots that were green screened on this.
Oh no, this one was totally legit.
Yeah, there are shots you'll see here in a minute, like when they do the big circle in the sky where it's obviously green screen. But I am just fascinated now about how they got a lot of these other shots.
Just send a camera guy out of the plane too.
I know, like that shot, Kimberly coming down. I mean, that's awesome. That's the shot I'm talking about right there. When it goes by for a fraction of a second, the trailer, you think it's the White Ranger.
Oh god. Power Rangers battle in the sky. That would be amazing.
Yeah. But this ain't bad. I mean, yeah, it doesn't serve anything in the movie, but it's really nice. I think it looks good. And, you want to start a movie with an action sequence, but for Power Rangers, this just isn't the...
I would expect, fighting.
Yeah.
But, hey, it was the 90s. People were all into the totally radical stuff.
I didn't think the total radical stuff came until really the end of that, like the late 90s, early 2000s. So this is probably just a precursor to it.
Oh, precursor? I would disagree with you there.
I mean, these are... Now, this shot up here is what I'm talking about. That's green screen right there. Look at that.
Well, that's probably because, the people who are actually out there weren't the main cast.
Oh, and I agree with that. Just that it's so obvious, How long has it been? Almost 20 years on the movie. 18 years now?
Yes, in that opening crawl, they said the identities of the 6 are a guarded secret. Mm-hmm. And yet they're just walking around in... But, walking around in their colors. as if no one would guess that the gang of superheroes in primary colored costumes.
And the parachutes, of course. Which, do you remember when you were in high school and you were skydiving for charity? Because I used to do that all the time.
Yeah, I did it all the time. I don't know what you're talking about. And that's a totally normal thing in poor Montana.
Now, two things I do want to comment about this scene, not necessarily the skydiving, but one, there is good exposition given here by the announcer and through the dialogue where it doesn't really sound forced. Because we're talking about the observatory, which is really just to talk about Ryan's comet, which plays in later in the movie, but it doesn't seem forced, doesn't seem awkward or anything.
Wow, I've seen this movie many times in my life, and I did not realize that foreshadowing until now.
And then second is the kid actor that they got. Okay, he's not as grating as what they kind of do now when they put kid actors in. He works at purpose, but I think the problem they ran into the movies, because the Rangers were gone on another planet, they had to have somebody back on Earth do something, and that's probably where his character came in.
Well, he was I would say he's a rather successful attempt at a child actor character. We'll see that fall on his face in later years.
Yeah, but he's not bad by any means. It's just that he does pull the focus away. But again, we have to check back into what they're doing at Earth.
Yeah, it keeps the stakes up.
And because Ivan Ooze is messing with the kids, we have to have a character we see that from. So it works. I like that. Yeah.
You know, but their friends are in a potentially lethal situation. They're like, let's just go get some food at Ernie's.
They are funny in
role models, kids.
I just wish I had more to do in this movie, but they do work into the plot. But. All right, now this scene, this is just gratuitous. It's either do the skydiving or do the rollerblading.
I would have rather this scene ended with a putty attack.
Which, by the way, we don't even see putties in this movie. That is a little... I mean, the Tangas are great. The Tengu in the movie. And watch how long Billy stays up in the air. There goes Kimberly and Tommy. There goes Billy, even though Billy was the first one up. So he suspended himself in the air and let the other ones go down before him.
Aliens.
Yes. Now, I don't like this because the Power Rangers are not the Animorphs. They do not go through construction sites rollerblading. And notice nobody's trying to stop them.
They go right under two dudes.
Our heroes, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yeah, but they react to this.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be more surprised by people landing a parachute in my construction site, but I'd still be pretty ticked off if somebody was trying to rollerblade through an active work zone.
Yeah, and I just want to know how Bulk and Skull got so far off course.
Well, they jumped about 20 minutes after the rest did.
Yeah, but it's the pilot's fault, not theirs. And I do like this scene, just them trying to weasel their way out.
That's pretty classic Bulk and Skull right here.
But, you know, you got to give credit for this movie because they actually do work in some scenes pretty well because they go through a construction site. Yeah, it's forced through the Rangers. But even if it was just Bulk and Skull going through there, we get to our first plot point.
You know, if you would have kept the Rangers out of it, the Bulk and Skull thing works perfectly because, you know, yes, by their bumbling nature, you expect them to land 20 miles off course in a construction site.
Exactly. So we have the egg about to go ahead and show up. You kind of want to say anything before we get to the next thing, I guess, talking? Because I
don't know how Angel Grove seems to be parked on top of all kinds of different evils and ancient stuff, or how California in general seems to be parked on top of all kinds of ancient things.
I would believe, of course, that this is...
Demon cities, Ghost Aid...
Well, this is an alternate continuity, so this may be the first time this has ever happened.
You still have Alpha, and still have Alpha and Zordon parked. But, you know, in this continuity, you could argue maybe they parked nearby to keep Ivan in check.
Exactly, and that might have been more logical. Now, there's a rough draft or an early draft of the script, which basically has its own backstory to the movie, where Ivan Ooze was captured by ancient Power Rangers, basically.
An idea that comes up all the time and never seems to get actually used.
Yes, it was never used in the movie. There was this whole backstory Zordon was going to give them, but it was just kind of limited down to warriors like yourselves.
Yeah, but they bring that idea up a lot because that idea was considered for Lost Galaxy. It's like Samurai was the first time they actually went through with the idea.
Yeah, but they were kind of forced into that part too. But let's talk about like the command center as it's kind of there as they're teleporting off. It's the same. It's pretty much the same establishing shot, same location, just different matte painting. I do like the command center here.
Oh, I think it's great. Yeah.
I just don't. What's beneath the fog? That's what I want to know. Why did Zordon hook up a fog machine?
Because he and Alpha needed to do something in that 10,000 years between Rita's sealing and her escape.
So Rita was sealed 10,000 years ago. Ivan was sealed, well, I think it was 6,000 years. Yeah, 6,000 years in this movie. But, you know, I wish we got more backstory on him because Ivan Ooze is a really great villain. He's very interesting.
Entertaining, if not interesting.
Yeah, just that I want to know how much better it could have made if we did have that backstory.
Capable of slaving the entire universe.
Yeah, two giant robots. That's it. Giant scorpion. And I love how they make up words here. Hyperlock chamber, morphological being.
Titans.
Although that is a pretty cool name, Ectomorphicon. That I do like that.
Yeah, of course. If he escapes, he's sure to find him. You buried them about 2 feet away from where he was buried.
And I wonder if again the backstory might have cleared that up.
I don't even think the backstory would have. I think it's all plot convenience.
Now look at the lighting here. The lighting actually looks really good. You can tell obviously where that source is coming from, but it really makes a good mood. Now Lord Zed coming here. First of all, I like his pulsating brain. It's very subtle, but if you actually look at it, you can see his brain kind of going up and down, up and down.
And I think that's, I'm sure that's something they intended for the series. It's just in the movie they had the
budget to go ahead and do it.
And the random pig from nowhere that's Mordant,
which I believe is supposed to be Goldar's cousin twice removed, but I just wonder why they couldn't use, like, Ray and Rito and then have them, like, in the series, because people would put together. See, look at his brain. There it goes.
Yeah, see, now I noticed that. I never noticed it before.
Yeah.
Is it me or does his mask seem larger?
I think it is larger. It's
maybe it's because they need to put machinery in to operate his brain.
I think for a 95 it wouldn't be that bad, but it does. They had to give everybody a different look somehow to make him more quote unquote cinematic. Well, I think Goldar looks a lot better in the series than he does in this movie.
Maybe it's because the clear picture just shows the flaws in the costume for what it was.
Yeah.
I love this line. It's might be my favorite line in the movie.
And I don't know who that actress is playing Rita, but I do know that's Barbara Goodson doing the voiceover.
I think it's Barbara Goodson.
There was a different actress they had.
The same actress that took over her role in season 2.
Yeah, because they shipped the only person they did not ship over to Australia to do this movie was Bob Manhan, who did the voice of Zordon. There was a commentary I was listening to about that.
How ironic that this movie was filmed in New Zealand.
Well, Australia, but close enough, yeah. Because I think it's downtown Sydney is where they are.
Yes, okay. Yeah, but still, that part of the world.
Now, I just love that Ivan Ooze was the big ticket for this movie and all the advertising, and yet he shows up in nothing else in Power Rangers history, Power Rangers lore, except one or two video games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, it could have been really hard to really get him into the series somehow. Maybe as a replacement for Master Vile, because I think they only use like one episode of Sentai footage for Master Vile.
Honestly, I prefer his design to Master Vile, although I guess with Ivan, it's a bit more difficult to get him in. I mean, think of the makeup for that on a day-to-day basis over the course of...
At least 3 hours, yeah.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know what Paul Freeman's been in recently, but like when this movie was coming out, it was like the villain from Raiders of the Lost Ark is what everybody was saying. He was in Indiana Jones. He was in Indiana Jones. Now he's in Power Rangers. And you never hear this guy anymore, but it's always Paul Freeman in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie.
Watching his performance in this movie makes me wish that he had been a villain in more movies. Smells like...
Which it's amazing they can...
Oh, this would have been like the perfect opportunity for a lame Nirvana joke. Smells like teen spirit.
I love how he can smell it before they arrive. So apparently you can smell their molecules before they reform in teleportation. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's just that powerful.
Yeah. Oh no, this scene is really funny.
This is a great character moment for Ivan.
Yes.
Morphological being? Yeah, because some random civilian's really going to know what the heck you're talking about.
Yeah, that's cool right there. And then look at his tooth, it's oozing. I will have to admit that I do think the Rangers in this movie are a bit dumber than they are in the series for some reason. I just kind of get that feeling. I'll accept Billy, though.
But to be fair, Ivan is someone they've completely not dealt with at all before. They have no idea what to expect from him. Snag. And see, I love Ooze's difference in attitude because Zed and Rita are always talking about how they have to destroy those blasted Power Rangers, but he's like...
He doesn't really...
There's nothing you're going to do to get in my way.
Yeah, he doesn't really care.
You know, what's with these guys? He brings them out in this scene, and yet next time it replaces them with Tengu.
Well, because they have to fly would be the big thing.
But at the same time, it's like, well, why not? It just seems strange because these guys are pretty coolly designed.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I like the idea that what we're setting up here in his first introductions is, one, he's a shapeshifter, and two, he can create other beings from himself. The only problems I have with that is, one, we never see him shapeshift again in the movie to like a normal person. Because like when he sells the ooze, he's dressed up as himself with like bozo makeup.
Yeah.
And the next time he shapeshifts...
He doesn't really need to at any other point in the movie.
Exactly. So I don't know why we set up his shape-shifting abilities when it's not really used. And there is originally what they were going to go ahead and do instead of oozemen, they were supposed to be like giant rats. Remember the rats that they did from the Green Ranger Returns and Fought the White Ranger?
Yeah.
That was what they were supposed to go ahead and use.
Well, I'm glad they went with these shit demons because I abhor harming rats.
Well, in any case, it did look horrible, and he was supposed to use this power a third time, where he was supposed to like merge the Tangas instead of blow them up, like merge them into one giant beast.
Now that's awesome.
But apparently, they just couldn't get that.
Fought that than that stupid Hornet.
I mean, the robots were good, but we'll get into the CG of that. There are a lot of one-liners in this movie from both Billy and Adam. Well, everybody gets at least one liner. You ooze, you lose.
Yeah, you ooze.
I'm a frog, which is the best line in the whole movie.
Or sit down. Okay, yeah, all right, yeah. It's because you can totally backflip away faster than you can run.
Yeah. Here comes...
Why have they been fighting for like 5 minutes and not morphed yet?
Well, they're used... Yes, back. Yeah, man, Adam gets picked on a lot in this movie, I think. Because he's also like the only Ranger who doesn't have like any special upgrade to his helmet or weapon.
That's true.
I do kind of like this morphing sequence, but it's really simple.
Yeah.
Would be the only problem.
I think I understand why they do it like this, because they're trying to make it look a little more natural. Instead of that little lightning bolt thing that they did in the series.
Well, didn't they just have a lightning bolt? I think it probably went too fast and we missed it. But it's just like the coin comes out, goes to the screen, reveals the Rangers. And what really screws it over here is like, so that when they morph, they don't know where the oozmen have gone. We're about to see this shot right here. And they're like, where'd they go? See, look, Tommy's like, what?
Which just makes the oozmen look like punks, because it's like, oh, they were in.
Well, no, it goes to my point, it's like, makes the Rangers look dumb. Like, they were right in front of you.
I know, it would have been, that would have been a classic Power Rangers moment, morph and charge forward, like they did all the time in the series.
Exactly. But I think the only reason we're cutting here, we have this moment, is so that we can cut to the command center and show it blow up. And I love this with Ooze and Zordon here.
Oh, God, yeah. Ooze gets the best lines in this movie.
Yes.
You see, yeah.
And I love how this movie actually has established continuity.
Yeah.
Where it says nobody can get in without a power coin. That's been established for years. And then we find there's an exception to the rule.
Because it goes through the cracks in the door.
Yeah.
And that's brilliantly clever.
And I think they used the same technology they did to make the T2 or the T-1000 in Terminator, the liquid thing. It just doesn't look as good when it's ooze.
Yeah. Purple goop.
Yeah.
Alpha trying to be violent. Does that ever happen?
I think this is the first time he's ever tried to do it, which it was a big laugh in the theater when I've seen it. And this really is the most interesting part of the movie, I'd say, because there's this...
10 minutes out of the egg, I'm already listening to one of your lectures.
Exactly. There's a history between these characters, and I almost wish that there was more of that, you know? Because it's pretty much a straight-up action film, but when we hear about the past, it seems like what happened in the past is almost more interesting.
Charlie Horse is the Renaissance. I love this guy.
Yeah, I'm talking all over his one-liners. Yeah, somebody...
And he trashes, he shoots lightning bolts out of a pipe. Things.
Oh, the third one's the best.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so I didn't get that when I was a kid. Once I saw behind the scenes, I'm like, yeah, I can see how all three of those things can go together.
You know, something that just occurred to me. How did he know about all these things? Unless he was able to see what was happening in the outside world from his egg.
That's true, or he could be one of those non-linear beings that could see into the future, but that wouldn't work either since, well...
Maybe he ate a library.
There are a number of things that can go ahead and explain. It's probably one of those things best not to think about. And much like I said with RPM, is like because it's not part of main continuity, it makes those things okay, where it's not that big of a deal. But why are the Oozmen hiding? I'm not getting that.
Because they realized they'd get their tails kicked? Now, is it me, or is Billy's armor totally nipping out?
I haven't noticed that.
I just noticed it. Maybe it's because this is the larger screen that I've watched it on in the past.
Well, just at least ain't Joel Schumacher. Otherwise, we've got Ranger nipples.
Oh God! Get these helmet upgrades. When I first saw this, I was like, "What?"
Okay, see, the other Rangers is completely useless. She's not adding much, if anything. The Red Ranger's helmet is interesting, but I don't know how often Rangers need scanning devices.
Well, most of the time, Rita and Zed would send a monster out in broad daylight.
Exactly. But again, the scanner's supposed to pick up alien life forms, I think. Yeah. And then what's also weird is, okay, the worst weapon, and I think in the history of Power Rangers, it's got to be, pardon me, it's got to be Billy's Stega Stinger. My question is, they never sold toys of this, because everybody's always like, Power Rangers is all about selling toys. I never saw a light-up Yellow Ranger helmet. I never saw the Stega Stinger or the Pterodactyl Thunder Whip or a Power Scope visor, anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and say that it's not about making toys in that sense.
Maybe I was trying to play up the science fiction side of Power Rangers.
But well, I guess my thing is like the only person who has their own weapon from the series is Tommy. He has Saba, but where are the rest of them? That's why I want to know. Why couldn't we have an updated power axe, an updated power sword?
That'd be awesome.
Exactly, because those are, the classic weapons are always the best because they are the most useful of weapons. And they did originally want to do. I'll tell you two things about the costumes you might have not known. They originally wanted to do this with the spandex costumes, but decided we got a bigger budget, so let's go bigger on it. That was kind of their thought.
And I've always thought that if there was going to be some kind of big budget American remake of Power Rangers, that it would be this kind of thing for the costume.
Exactly. I mean, there's nothing wrong with spandex, but there is something really cool about this that does work.
It makes them look like armored superheroes.
Yes. Now, the other thing about the costumes is that originally they weren't supposed to have their visors or their mouthpieces. You would be able to look into the helmet and see their eyes and see their mouths. The idea is to allow them...
I do not like that idea.
The idea was so they could emote more.
Mm-hmm.
But then after... They did this whole scene here, the fight sequence with the rats without the visors, and it just looked horrible from what they said. And, double whammy. My brother and I, we love that.
I love the sound effect they have at that point.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, this is the most impractical and stupid weapon ever. Look at that.
It'd be cooler if it was a taser.
Yeah. And besides, why does he need it to get up there? He's a Power Ranger. He can jump.
I think they just wanted to do a cool special effect.
This is less useless, but it is cool.
Wait, which Sentai used dance ribbons?
I don't know, but I like that it is... wait a second. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I want to say Goggle 5?
Yeah, it was Goggle 5.
Yeah, I don't think that was the inspiration, but... Oh, yeah, and this kick by Tommy. Yeah,
oh, God. Tommy
that's
has
impractical.
So many weird kicks in this movie.
Yes, but he is awesome. And I love it when these guys blow up. They just turn to ooze. I mean, that is awesome.
I think it's awesome because it makes the Rangers' attacks look super powerful. They hit them so hard that they're liquefied.
Oh, geez, here he comes now.
Billy to the rescue with his useless weapon.
Yes. And look, you notice they have the blade blasters right there. I guess as a kid I never understood, you have guns. Why don't you use them?
Because gunfights are not as cool as fist fights.
I understand that now, but as a kid, after Pudgy Pig ate their weapons, I'm like, you have guns. Now, I will give it credit. It's not using a power blaster or a big attack. That they are being clever here. But it's not necessarily what you expected. Power Rangers like, yeah, we're just going to smush the villains.
And thus, the only morphed fight in the movie ends.
Yeah. But at least we give... Now, okay, so he destroyed the power chamber, or the power, or command center, excuse me, 5 minutes ago, and it took it this long for them to lose their powers?
Maybe they just, used up what was left in their reserves before they need to recharge.
Well, it's very ambiguous as far as why destroying the command center destroys their powers. Because, again, it's been established it's in the power coins. So that's why in the beginning of Season 3, when they lost their power coins, when the Thunder Zords were destroyed, okay, they lost it because it blew up while they were there. That at least made sense. This, to me, doesn't make sense unless the power is at the command center. Which, again, begs the question, well, why would they have the coins? Why would there be a connection?
Maybe the coins are connected to Zordon in this alternate continuity.
Yeah, but it just seems like a weak premise. It would seem almost better if Ivan was fighting them single-handedly, stealing their morphers, like just ripping the morphers off and crushing the coins.
Oh, man, that's... Why you gotta give me disappointing ideas like that?
Well, this is 20 years after the fact, and you're talking about two film students who are big fans. I
always thought this was weird. I was like, why is Zordon in a... Oh, man, I totally forgot the name of that Mexican food.
Gyros? Or?
No, that's Greek food.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Churros.
Yeah, sure.
No, I'm just asking, why does he look like he's from Krypton?
A tamale. He looks like he's in a tamale. Because crystal spires and togas are the thinking man's version of the future.
I do like how they actually did make him look alien. He has no ears, as you can see. So,
oh, man, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, so I mean, because this is the first time that we've established he's from the planet Eltar, that he's Eltarian. So now we know that Eltarians don't have ears. So if we ever see one in the future, which I'm hoping we do, we realize that...
Be like a father to us all, because, you know, God knows we rarely see our own parents.
Oh my goodness, that is the most forced piece of dialogue in a movie. And Amy Jo Johnson's probably she is the best actress in this movie, which isn't saying much. But I never did like Aisha. I never did. And what's really disappointing is that when they were doing the whole pre-production, Austin St. John, Walter Jones, and Thuy Trang, they were all scheduled to go down to do this film.
So they were going to return for this film?
No, this was before they left the show. The movie was already planned by the second season.
Well, that makes sense. I mean,
yeah, and so
planned the movie the moment that they ordered more stock footage from Toei.
Exactly. I mean, they didn't get it until '95, but because like halfway through the second season is when they do go down to Australia, and that's where they do all the filming.
Okay.
So it's just really disappointing that we have these three guys here that.
Hey, you know, I'll take Adam over. I'll take Adam any day.
I don't know. It would have been better if they had 7 Rangers, I think, because I couldn't think of who I'd want to get rid of just to have Adam there.
Have him to take the Green Ranger powers. He became a Green Ranger anyway.
Exactly. That would have been something. Now I'm going to go ahead and address this great power thing because it's, again, not like in the series where they have a map to the place and they have a vague idea of what's there. They just send them off to a dangerous planet with
Oh, what are you talking
nothing.
about? They just sent him to the... In the series, they just sent him to the desert right outside the command center.
You've been watching too much of Linkara.
Yes.
Zed's palace looks freaking awesome. It looks like it's made of bone. Look at that. And look at the lighting. It's just... And watch, you'll see...
Why couldn't they send this... Why couldn't they keep this set around?
I know.
I mean, I guess it would have been hard to
and this looks
drag a set from New Zealand over to LA.
And they do... Oh, that's funny. Yes. And they even have his fan there, too. I mean, this is awesome. This is the best set piece in the movie, I think.
No, I'd make the argument for the place that they fight at towards the end.
Yeah.
Where they fought the gargoyles.
But,
or those
but this just has a lot of atmosphere to it. And so I love how...
And see, this is what I love about Ivan as a villain. He just completely walks over the old guard.
Exactly. And at this point, Zed's the biggest badass in the universe, and he can't even take him out. And I love the snow globe. There's just something about that that's just hilarious.
That just shows his dominance as a villain.
Yes. Anybody that can put villains into snow globes.
Great!
Now, movie Goldar, I can see making the switch, but series Goldar, I don't see that. But this was about the part where Goldar was starting to become a joke.
Yeah.
Which is kind of sad.
But think about it. When he first came out, he was able to fight the entire Ranger team on his own. But then we got to the point where Jason was able to take him on unmorphed.
Yeah. I was like, what?
I mean, it makes sense. The dude's all about snot and mucus. Good distance. Oh my god. Oh man, the things you catch with subtitles.
Yes. Yeah, we're watching subtitles because we have like the audio barely up right now just so we can record this. But it is interesting because like I got the original VHS and I probably watch it like once a week for a year. But now it's like I just pick up so many things. And again, these are the Tengu. I don't know if it's the exact same costume. They look very similar, but they look more threatening in the movie than they did in the series. But I think
probably because increased budget for the movie and.
Well, I mean, what I'm saying is like I think these would be the same costumes they got into the series because the Tengus were introduced at the beginning of the third season.
Plus, if I recall correctly, I don't remember the costumes in the series being emotive like these ones are.
Yeah, plus look at they're all kind of like slick back, and they just look a lot more threatening. And now I'm trying to figure out how they're flying through the vacuum of space.
Yeah, they're not. It's not the vacuum of space. They're still on the moon's gravity.
Yeah, but this is before we established that the moon was had broke the laws of physics.
In the first episode.
Oh, this is the worst looking planet in Power Rangers. Look at that. That's like worse than what you see on DeviantArt. And so now they teleport him to the beach. I just love every time the Power Rangers like go somewhere. It's always like 100 miles away from where they're supposed to be. Now I'm going to forgive this skeleton would not be intact like this, but look at that.
You know, this guy, this guy's pathetic. He didn't even get past the beach before.
But that is, look at that. What is that? That is awesome.
Yeah, I want to learn. I want to.
He's got like
about this guy.
He's got like some sort of sensor thing.
Yeah, powers. Yeah, it's like his scouter. He must be in league with Vegeta.
Oh, I was hoping to avoid a Dragon Ball reference, but
hey, come on! At least I didn't make that joke.
Anyway, the ominous person watching. That is pretty cool.
Oh my God, it's Andros.
So now he's got to manufacture the ooze to take over everybody. Now, Captain Logan was the one who suggested this movie was talking about the evils of mass consumerism. Have you heard about this?
No, but...
So basically what it is that Ivan Ooze is making a product, selling it to kids, and saying, your parents won't like it, buy it anyway. Buy, get it. All the kids get it. And then their parents...
his evil empire.
Exactly. And the parents, once they have it, turn to mindless zombies just to do the bidding.
Turn them into zombies.
Yeah. And he does the bidding of Ivan Ooze, so it basically turns parents into slaves of the corporate machine, buying for their children, fueling this. So yeah, that whole theory is like, this is supposed to be like anti-big business and how corporate America is corrupting.
Coming from a series...
That's the thing. That's the same thing Captain Logan says. Like, this is Power Rangers is all about mass consumerism, so this is probably something that was unintended.
They introduce random weapons and props that will never be used again, just for the sake of getting an extra toy out of it.
I never saw a Power Eggs toy or a Zeo Crystal toy, so invalid argument there.
Not for the props, but like for weapons.
Except the metallic armor, but that was useless itself.
This is what the metallic armor should have been.
Exactly, which I still can't get a good explanation for this. Now, here's something else, a little bit of trivia. When Tommy's talking to Kimberly here, and I love this scene, it's very emotional. But if you watch Tommy's lips, he says, we'll find this great power. But his lips say, we'll find this warrior. Because in the original draft, they were supposed to look for Dulcia. That's who they were coming to look for.
Instead of her just like randomly being there.
Exactly. So here's where he says it.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So, oh yeah. And now we got another morph fight against more powerful Tangas. Or Tengu. I keep getting that mixed up. And I do like the set pieces in this movie.
Random crows.
Yeah. The thing about set pieces in the movie I do like is that we're not we're not in Angel Grove, we're not in the park, we're not in the juice center, we're not in the woods. We're in very unique locations, and scenes at night too. That was a big thing for me when I was a kid. It's like, it's night. They're fighting in the dark. How awesome!
You know, maybe the Yellow Ranger had that headlight thing the whole time. It's just they never needed it.
Oh, that's funny. I like that. I never understood a word he was saying until I got the VHS and I slowed it down. I was like, what is he saying?
It's weird. It's like this Tengu just carries her.
Yeah,
I mean, he's just like going random directions. It's not like he's trying to go up. Because
he does look like he's ascending a little bit. But yeah, now it looks like he went back down.
You know, it's like, seriously, why don't you just go up and drop her? You probably kill her on impact.
Now here is the other money shot of the movie.
Did you know that Mariska Hargitay from Law and Order SVU was originally going to be Dulcia?
And I forget what it was. I think she had some sort of medical condition or had to have surgery.
Yeah, she filmed scenes.
Yeah, which I'm told were pretty bad because she had like a Muppet sidekick. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then like there was supposed to be this whole training montage with the Rangers that they did not film again because it would cost too much, where she gave them the ninjetti powers and then they were training with them, and their beds had like red sheets, white sheets, blue sheets for each of the Rangers, which is... Oh, yeah, her sticks are different. Now she's got handles on them where she's spinning. And, of course, Catherine Sutherland, she originally auditioned for the role of Dulcia. Didn't get it, but she got the role of Catherine, which I would argue is much better.
Yeah, that was a longer paying job.
Yeah. Now... the benefits of widescreen are going to show themselves here in just a moment. Because when you had VHS, you never saw what you're about to go ahead and see.
Oh, wait, is that what you're talking about?
Okay. And top screen right. In just a minute here. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The benefits of widescreen.
Oh man, I would have loved that when I was a kid.
So, and again, I get this whole sense that there was a very intricate backstory with Dulcia, Ivan, Zordon, all these other characters, which would have made more sense other than her just being this nomad guardian of power that nobody's able to get to.
She just reminds me of some kind of hobo that's crashed out on this rock.
Yeah, I mean... First of all, she's like hundreds of miles from the power, most likely, because it's in the jungle, and it looks like it at least takes them the whole day to get where they're going. So why is she here in the first place? What was she doing? Especially
just a violent, partially clothed hobo.
And why was she cloaked? And you know she doesn't bring her cloak; she keeps the cloak there. And I do like here Zordon's pretty much saying, "Hey, Alpha, do you think you can fix the TV?" Because he wants to communicate with them. He's like, "I'll get the viewing globe fixed." And the first thing he turns on is a news report. So I was like, it's nice to know Zordon gets cable in the command center.
I mean, what else is he going to do right now?
See, now he didn't shapeshift.
Oh, come on, he totally did. He made his... you know, actually, no, he probably just grew his hair out and then put on a layer of
Exactly.
foundation.
I mean, again, for somebody who's been established to have shape-shifting abilities...
Yeah, but, you know, this is the perfect guise for selling this product to these kids.
He could have been his normal self and still could have sold this stuff, you know? I mean, if he would have turned into, like, you know, Paul Freeman, if he could have turned into his human self, you know, they could have had Dave, him shooting without the makeup and doing this. That still would have been interesting. Although I don't think, I mean, he's not in full makeup. I mean, he's got, obviously, the prosthetic nose and looks like the cheeks. And I do like the rhyming that he does. It almost makes you wish that he actually spoke in rhyme in the whole movie.
I think that would have gotten annoying fast.
Yeah, so she just leading them across the through the ocean.
Frogged up the
edge. I want to play the Lawrence of Arabia music here.
And here we are at back at Ayers Rock.
Now this is a good set piece too. Look, the ruins of some sort of temple. And now I see one moon. I always thought there were two moons or something. I could be wrong. Which you would think they would want to do that to make it a little bit more science fiction.
When I rewatched this movie in my older years, it's like my mind gutter. All I saw was a big stone dick out there.
Yes, the phallic symbol. I love it takes an entire mountain to house these powers, but like one door that you could fit a semi-truck through.
It's parked at the base of the mountain.
Now, something that is a little bit odd is what I like about Dulcia here is she's like, you've been chosen by Zordon. It kind of reminds me almost of Patrick Stewart and Whoopi Goldberg's characters in Star Trek, where they have this connection, like, all you have to say is, Zordon sent me. I immediately trust you because I trust him. I like that.
Now, that could have been something that could be exploited by a villain.
Yes. Yes, it could have. But again, it just makes me wish there was more story there. I mean, for what we got, I mean, for what this was when it came out and what Power Rangers was at the time, this was awesome. It made a profit, definitely. You got back the money that it made. But I just think
it's not as big of a hit.
Exactly. I mean, I think as long as you're in the black.
I'm going to touch it.
Oh, yeah. Turn in zombies. Product placement. Keebler cookies. And I love how he just came from that direction, and yet he didn't see all the zombies.
Yeah, but this scene's really cool. So
yeah.
What was it with that lady wearing the random red cowboy hat?
I don't know. And
I love funny extras.
Oh, in this news report, the parents of Angel Girl. What parents? Don't you mean citizens? And now Ivan's able to override the broadcast feed to sell his ooze. Yeah, that wasn't creepy at all.
Come on, it's the 90s. Kids love weird stuff like that. Nickelodeon made an entire
Come down to Ooze City and let's get sticky. I mean, where do I begin with that?
Hey man, Nickelodeon made an entire media empire off of green slime, so
which they seem to abandon for some reason. Now this I still don't get, and again I'm thinking there's probably something in the original script where she gives them partial powers and they have to go get the
It's the Matrix of Leadership.
I mean, because okay, so I'm still not sure how this movie works where they already have their own spirit animal. I can see like magic bringing it out, but then their Zords correspond, which where the Zords come from, I don't know that at all.
Where did the Zords ever come from?
You know, it at least makes sense in other series they do to explain it. Here, it's just like, we have new Zords, and they fly in out of nowhere. Because it's magic. I do like these ninja costumes. And they got a lot of mileage out of in the series. And
look at the look on his face.
And of course, the only reason in the series that they covered up their entire faces because they had the stunt doubles, but in this movie they had bigger budget to where they could, get away with that.
And it's cool because it's ninjas. Ninjas covered their faces, despite the fact that ninjas would
not dress in pink.
Bright colors, yes.
Yeah. Adam is the only one who is an actual ninja in this. And he happens to be the Asian one, so, And I love her explanations for why. Yeah. Look how tall she is. She's like a giant compared to Amy Jo Johnson.
Agile Kimberly, light as a feather. You get a bird. Congratulations, you're thin. Oh.
I'm a frog. Again, best line in the whole movie.
Kiss. Hey, you got more out of her than anyone else did.
Yeah, look at that smile.
I guess I'll go do anime. Winged Lord of the Skies.
What's actually really interesting about this movie is that by the time we do get to the third season, it's a mishmash of 3 different Sentai sources. It doesn't feel like it's a mishmash. It almost seems natural in this movie.
It works because of how they were how they only used the Kaku Ranger mecha footage and did completely original stuff otherwise.
Yeah. And again, there's 6 Rangers. The colors all coincide with what was previously established. And I mean, they just really,
except for that, that little shenanigan they pulled with Pink's mecha.
Well, yeah, but
like,
it was already pink.
My mech is down, so I'm gonna share one with you, so I can correspond to Ninja
Well,
Light.
I'm talking about mainly
Oh,
about
what the fuck is this?
Yes. Turns into an animal, an owl of all things.
It's
Explain movie. Explain. Now turns into a nostalgia critic.
No, I want her to be like some kind of owl ranger. That'd be cool.
Yeah, yellow owl from.
I mean, come on. She just gave them semi-ranger powers.
Yeah, and I don't like the explanation. As soon as I get off here, I'll like age. So is it like the further you are away from the monolith, the younger you get? Because that might explain a few things. They sure love using the fog machine in this movie.
It's ominous, I guess.
Now, how is he doing this? Why is nobody converging in his position? Where's the army? Where's the police?
Where is the army? There's like no functioning army in Power Rangers until Lightspeed Rescue.
Well, I think it was in Turbo that we first saw the army. But what I don't get is like, okay, again, we're going back to Earth to see what's happening.
But you know how later in the movie there you have the news report and the reporter says, "Where are the Power Rangers?" That just shows you. It's like, we don't care about police. We don't care about the army.
Which, that's something I would love to see in a Power Rangers a new series or show is first show the army failing, then show the Power Rangers succeeding.
Yeah, let's make our men in uniform look terrible. That's a great idea.
Hey, Transformers pretty much did it, and then they made him totally awesome because it's Michael Bay. But could you imagine a Michael Bay movie about Power Rangers? That would almost seem to work if you think about it.
It worked the same way the first Transformers movie did.
A lot of explosions, which Bruce Couch and Michael Bay, hey, maybe they're one the same.
Sticks.
Yeah, I love how he says that.
Yeah, see, connections between the three of them.
Yeah, so again, there is something that has happened that we're missing. I almost wonder if a prologue would have worked for this film. To set something up where neither the audience that's new to the franchise or the Power Ranger fans knew anything about it. Some sort of prologue where we set up Ooze, we set up Dulcea, we set up the Ninjetti powers, we set up his imprisonment, and the only connection is Zordon.
Heck, use Die Ranger suits.
Exactly. It could have been, and I'm just spitballing here, we could actually have it where we have the whole thing at the beginning, we learn how Ooze got imprisonment, we learn all that backstory, and then Zordon, you are the youngest member, so you are in charge of protecting
As
Ivan
the
Ooze's
sun
life.
rises, we must journey to the great stone cock.
So, yeah. But I do miss the training montage that should have been in here.
Now it looks like they wandered onto the set of Walking with Prehistoric Beasts.
Yeah, and then, of course, Am's line, "Welcome to Jurassic Park," later on. I did like the dinosaur thing. I mean, again, this jungle should have perils and all that, and gargoyles.
And it's kind of creative to have the skeleton of a monster instead of a monster.
Exactly. Although I almost kind of wish it would be like...
what are they accomplishing by hitting excavated rocks if they're supposed to be digging?
Yeah, maybe Ooze doesn't know how to dig, therefore they don't know how to dig.
Or maybe he was just making.
And I love how Fred's able to get in there and nobody sees him or notices him.
Of course, no one notices him. They're all zombily focused on their jobs.
So the only person paying attention is Goldar.
Yeah.
And we got more product placement for Nike and Jordan. And yes, Aisha, she's wearing a Nike shirt, of course.
90s.
And look, why is that guy just lazy? He's a zombie, and yet he's being lazy. I hate to see what he's like in real life.
Some traits transcend sentience.
Sounds that way, doesn't it? But again, was there a reason why I said that his Zords were buried next to him? Why weren't they destroyed? I mean, is it like...
Because no one has the idea the first time around?
Yeah.
You know,
I never thought of a prologue would have been perfect.
The ancient samurai rangers didn't destroy Master Xandrid. The Zordon didn't destroy Rita a long time ago.
Oh, there's a big backstory about Rita and Zordon in that case, but I have no idea what version's actually true. I'd like to know where they shot this, because, okay, it kind of looks like a set, but also looks like it might be real. What do you think? Does that look like it's a set?
Judging by the trees, it may be a set, or maybe they dragged these big plastic pieces out in the middle of the woods.
It could be. It could be a combination of both, especially with the light coming in the way it is. But again, just good. That is good lighting.
Jurassic Park. Oh.
Yeah, I thought
way
it
to
was
reference
funny.
better movies.
I do like this right here with the tail coming up.
And you know what I really like about this is that it's all practical effects.
Exactly. My brother swore for the longest time it's CG. I was like, no, it's not CG.
No, they have CG in this movie, and it's blatantly obvious.
Yeah. But look at that. Even the shadow. Did you see the shadow on that thing?
No, I didn't.
It has shadow. I love how she's just... And quite the girl. At least Rocky's trying.
yeah, Adam's just watching. That's why you got the frog, you useless.
And see, they don't have the ninja powers like they did in the series, which could be useful here.
Yeah, they actually those things actually had powers. It wasn't just a costume.
They could grow large. They could shoot lasers, or as Linkar put it, zombie Power Rangers.
Yeah, that would have been useful against Bonysaurus here.
I love how he's used a stick. Now, even though that cut like 6 times, it's still pretty cool. Tommy riding a dinosaur skeleton. See, how come there aren't like portraits of that on DeviantArt?
Because not many people like this movie. But hey, Tommy's got a long history of not giving a shit about dinosaurs. You know, like roundhouse kicking a T-Rex in the start of Dino Thunder without even thinking.
Yeah, Tommy really has a connection with dinosaurs, it seems.
See, this was a really cool practical effect. Why couldn't they do this with the Zords?
I think, again, they were going to go with the models for that, but I was watching the behind-the-scenes feature they did shortly after this movie came out, and they did say something about they really wanted to do the CG. They're like, we can do it. We can make it awesome.
Yeah, it's like, cutting-edge technology, wanting to be trendy and all that bullshit.
And so now Chemical Factory has the ability to... Look, they're making ooze and they're building it at the same time. Why does he need to make more ooze?
Reasons.
Because
this imagery of the conveyor belt's cool, I guess.
Well, I mean, you can tell Fred's still trying to put it together. He's like,
Well, at least somebody's trying to do it, because God knows the police and army aren't doing shit.
This almost makes me wish that, like, the whole Bulk and Skull's cops thing would have happened the second season. Then we could have had Bulk and Skull, like, investigating this as police officers.
That would be awesome. Have them legitimately investigating something.
Yes, and contribute. But again, if
they had that going, we wouldn't have needed this kid.
Exactly, but I think the whole reason why Bulk and Skull are not really in this movie, one, they had to be in the movie, but second, they were directing episodes of the TV series while they were in Australia filming. So they were doing like a lot of second unit work, I think is what it was.
Gotcha.
Because I want to say Jason, the guy who played Skull, he was doing the whole mansion stuff. I've read that somewhere. I could be wrong. But he was doing like all the mansion stuff where Rians that were getting married. So
okay.
But I mean, in hindsight, it explains. Yeah, they're not in this because they're directing. But
oh man, now that is just thinking of them investigating that. That would have been such a cool possibility. And that way we don't just have unnecessary random characters introduced.
Now, I've seen worse CG. For 1995, I don't think it's that bad.
I don't mind the Ectomorphicon Titans nearly as much as I mind the Zords.
Yeah, I could see that.
And yet they're both robots, so it's like, one's not
It's better than having just a giant monster attack. At least it's different.
That's true, that's true. And, something else I enjoyed about the Zord fight in this movie, the Zords do things on their own before they form up.
Exactly, which is something that's always missing from the series, but again, limited by the Sentai and what they can do. Because so many times you can show the saber-toothed tiger blasting its tail cannon.
And, it's much easier to have the humanoid Megazord. Much easier to do effect shots with that than some annoying
miniatures and models. They've gone the way of the dinosaur, unfortunately.
Just like their old powers.
Yeah. So, again, we're coming on the stone gargoyles here, and I don't know, maybe they might be my favorite villains to fight in the movie, which I find odd. There's that smoke machine again. They were really getting their money's worth out of that prop.
I think that's the force they need to be investigating. This smoke machine that's everywhere in the galaxy.
Yes.
I don't know, I felt like these guys were out of place for our Power Rangers.
Really?
Yeah, because they looked like they wandered over from the set of Lord of the Rings.
Before Lord of the Rings was filmed.
Hey,
took them 3 years later. But it's so cool. It's so different. And that's why I like that, because, again, none of this is based on any Sentai footage. None of this is based on any Sentai storyline. This is, basically, this is showing what American ingenuity can do.
With the Power Rangers concepts.
Exactly. And for a first outing, it's not bad.
This guy looks like he wandered over from Mystic Force.
I love how he's made of rock and has metal armor. That is cool. And their weapons are pretty cool. I love his weapon.
Oh, rock, steel. No wonder they fall to these fighting guys. Pokemon reference, sorry.
Yeah, second generation steel, I believe. But yeah. So it's like Steelix or Steel, Onyx, whatever. Yeah, I just love how they can yell out their ninjetti and their masks.
It's like, I'm Morphin. I'm just pulling my mask up.
Which, again, it's like, this is just to get the stunt people in. And these stunts, these are pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
I like the creative ways they defeat the monsters instead of just, blowing them up with a laser.
Charging my laser! Oh, these guys are strong. Really?
They're made of rock.
Surprised they don't hurt themselves hitting these guys.
Yeah, I know. I just want to see somebody break a hand by punching them.
And that would really establish the threat of these guys.
Yeah, and then you can see them fight with one hand. Have it be Aisha. And look, Aisha's just pathetic in this movie. I really believe that, because she's the one hiding. She's the one running from everything. But again, she didn't have much of a character in the series.
Yeah, at least Tanya got about a season's worth of development before.
I'll take Tanya over Aisha any day.
I've heard rumors that Aisha's actress has been contacted for Super Mega Force.
Steve Cardenas, he was contacted, but he turned it down, actually. Yeah. Well, I like this, yeah. I'm just surprised he hasn't tried to cut the... Yeah, see, now, I like this. He just, sinks to the bottom. He's not destroyed, he just can't swim.
That totally makes sense.
Although I don't know why he's steaming. But again, there's that fog machine.
Water beats rock. Come on.
Yes. That's why I always chose Squirtle first.
Yeah, fuck Squirtle.
So yeah, here Aisha's hiding. Again. Yeah. And here comes Rocky to save it. And of course, Rocky's got the best sight gag in this movie. Oh, which is not here yet.
Yep, Kimberly needs Tommy to bail her out.
Well, both girls need heroes to bail them out. I am surprised that nobody's like called foul on that, but you know, I think people were complaining about other things.
Yeah, they were too busy complaining about the accidental racism in the first season.
Yeah. And, you know, again, creative. Smashing on a rock.
Tommy used rock slide. It's super effective.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just going to stop with the Pokemon jokes.
Okay, so I like this. I like how they get the one gargoyle to kill the other rock gargoyle. That is hilarious.
Pick on the frog day.
Yes.
Yes. He's embraced his fate.
Yeah. Yeah, this is cool.
Hey, that's creative. That's
yes.
Creative. Oh.
Yes. This is Rocky's shining moment.
How phallic. Aisha did something. Holy crap.
Yes. I actually have a trading card from a movie of Rocky doing that, and you have to turn it on its side, so it is cool. I like how Billy and Kimber are really useless. They just kind of get them off balance. But then here comes Tommy with
the strangest stunt of the movie.
Yes.
More so than that
Stega-Stinger.
Yeah.
But I love that. He smashes. That is cool. I love that.
You hit him so hard that he burst.
What would you say the best action sequence of the movie is? I would probably have to say this is...
Yeah, I just think that the corkscrew kick was so bizarre.
Yeah. And now we have the monolith coming out with
the powers they've already unlocked.
Yeah, I love it. Like, the spirit animal is not actually their animal. Look, there's alien language written on it. What does it say? Oh, I was like, I want to know more.
If you look closely and decipher it, it says, we are just making this shit up as we go along.
See, it's not like Adam is the frog or Tommy is the falcon. It's just like, all right, so this guy's going to be the frog, this girl's going to be the crane. It's like she just picked it.
It's like, well, he's wearing white, and this white Falcon Zord's white, so, I'm just going to have him be.
Yeah,
he's wearing a black t-shirt. Let's have him take the black frog.
Now, while they're getting their powers here with the mini Zords flying out, which I believe, if you do look, Rocky and Billy Zords are switched.
Wait, what?
I think there's like a mistake where one of the guys has the wrong Zord. I think it's Billy has the frog around him.
Okay.
Oh, no, look, he's got the ape. Adam's got the ape around him, and Billy's got the frog going around him.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
And the frog just went into Billy's ambulance.
Now, okay.
And now we get our dino helmets back.
Yeah, so you have the budget. What they could have done is have them fight in the spandex costumes and then gave them brand new costumes. I know it wouldn't have fit over with the series. But
come on, they're just filming their own original footage at that point anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's like they get the Dino Ranger helmets, but the coins on their chest of their...
It's different. Oh yeah, and I love this. So yeah, everybody's just having a normal day. All the parents are in the quarry digging up robots. And we're just commuting.
Yeah, these are all the childless adults of Angel Grove.
And I do love how Ivan Ooze is on the top of the tower here, just like watching everything.
Hey, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
If I had just rebuilt my ancient death machines, you bet it.
Now that was a nice reflection in the windshield, I think, in the shadow. See, that's pretty good.
And they probably put that in to cover up a cameraman reflection.
Possibly, but, makes it more real. Anytime I see shadows on things and reflections, it feels a lot more real. And especially even how shiny these guys are, if you actually do look into the chrome...
It vaguely reflects.
But at least they were trying. That's the one thing they say, people slap this movie together.
Where are the Power Rangers?
Mayor has declared state of emergency. The mayor, not the governor, not the president...
this kind of thing that'd be all over cable news.
it would. Well, this is before cable news became what it is today, and Fox News saying, "It is the Power Rangers' fault that we have villains around here."
No. I'm just saying that every news network would have cameras over there.
And again, this could have been something. Oh yeah, he smells them again, just as they're entering the atmosphere. Because that makes all kinds of sense, doesn't it?
I mean, he did before, so at least it has an established precedent.
Now,
this would be a great opportunity for another Morph fight.
Now, the original cut of this film was supposed to go ahead and be, they go to Zordon first, then they go into the battle. And I think it was something like Zordon was supposed to give them their Zords or something like that, or something that was contrived. I don't know if that would have made more sense. What do you think? Them going to the battle first? Or
I think it flows better this way. They go straight to the crisis.
And then we have the emotional moment afterwards. Because again, now it's almost like a ticking clock because we know Zordon is dying.
And that's why they go straight to fight the battle instead of stopping by.
But of course they didn't know there was a battle. They just, that's where they arrived. I actually did kind of like how they put their morphers together called the Zords, which appear, again, out of nowhere.
Yeah, literally.
It would have been nice if there was like a giant portal in the sky like they were coming from in their dimension or something.
Yeah. Or maybe a portal back to that planet.
Yeah. And I also love how the Zords look nothing like their Kaku Ranger counterparts.
Wow, I'm dropping stuff left and right.
Yeah, he's eating here while we're doing the commentary, so if you hear
Of course
anything,
they look nothing like it's like... But is it really that hard to model? Oh, that's a great effect.
I like how they jump into the Zords. That was pretty cool. I love the cockpits, though.
Yeah, the cockpits are neat. I'll give it that.
And you notice that everybody has two joysticks except Kimberly and Tommy, who are flying birds, which makes sense. I like that.
At least they have cockpits that vaguely make sense.
Yeah.
Makes a lot more sense than the Time Force cockpit.
Oh, but don't you know, we'll learn to control things by using swords.
Yes, I guess I just...
This song. Uh-oh. First of all, where's Ernie? He doesn't even make an appearance in this movie. They go to Ernie's. And there's bulk with product placement and generic pizza. There's so many things wrong with this scene. Everybody's dressed in purple for some reason.
Because they've been buying Ivan Ooze's
But this is like
merchandise.
That Gopher Cakes commercial where they just go crazy over some little thing. And of course I love how it is Fred, someone we've never known, has no credibility. But again, wouldn't this have been better if it was Bulk and Skull?
Bulk and Skull, yeah. Who had been, if they had been investigating this the entire movie... who stand up and show them that they can be true heroes in the absence of the Power Rangers.
Countdown to destruction 3 years ahead of time, yeah.
Yeah. As Link Hour explained out, they had already started their...
They did in the second season with Scatterbrain, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I have to admit, the Falcon Zord's cooler in the movie than it is in the show.
Well, it actually does stuff. It doesn't just park on the back of the Zord.
Well, he does little in this, but he's got the rockets. He's got two different types of rockets, which is cool. And it's not flap and swings. It looks more like a jet.
See, I just enjoy this because it shows that each of these Zords is its own fighting machine.
Yeah, because I always figured that if you're going to have...
It's more variety.
Yeah. And I always figure if you're going to have animals... I mean, a bear can kill a person pretty easily. So why can't a giant robot bear do more damage,
It has much more important places to be, like the torso.
Now, why isn't the frog? I love the tongue thing. That is pretty cool.
That's a cool weapon. Yeah.
What Billy does here is pretty stupid. Yeah, I'm going to grab the tail.
You know what would be cool if he had some kind of supersonic howl blaster.
Yes. Oh yeah. Now here's the uselessness of Aisha again.
Yeah, stand up.
Exactly. It's a bear. Come on.
Yeah, should do a good old maul.
Now I do like Rocky here. He's thinking creatively. Just gonna jump down on him.
But are Tommy and Adam the only ones that have special weapons on their swords?
Well, yeah, if they're fighting like animals, they should be more deadly than that. But yeah, it seems that way. Well, even Cocker Ranger, I think the only thing that each Zord really had was like a laser blast, and they could do like different things. Like we know the Frog Zord. Why didn't it have the mini frogs? Yeah, and Bulk and Skull here. So I love how Bulk and Skull, who look like they're in their 30s, which I think they are at this point in the movie, are hanging out with a bunch of kids.
Yeah, that'll get you a visit from Chris Matthews.
Now this ain't that bad, right?
Whoa, that was a bad effect, though.
I like how they did it. It's just I had those black.
I love this line. Oh my god.
Yeah, we just learned something.
She's cute too.
Just learned something about Goldar that I don't think we wanted to know.
You know what's something funny? When you rewatch Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and you see Goldar holding arms with Scorpina, because they're married
in Zoo Ranger,
and yet they make no mention of the fact that they're holding each other's arms romantically.
Yeah, why couldn't Scorpina be in this movie? Get some hot Asian chick to play Scorpina.
Hey, they actually got someone to play her in the American footage eventually.
Yeah, but then they couldn't find her again.
I'm flying away. I'm not going to, shoot a missile at you or something.
Yes.
All right, so Billy's stupid move paid off.
Okay, but yeah, it's if the ooze is powering him, that joke takes on new context now that we know what David Yost is all about.
Oh, Jeebus.
Yeah. But if the ooze is exiting the robot, then why isn't it powering down? Because that's what's powering it, right?
Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's because... And how's that thing still flying?
Again, it's more like a jet than anything, but it's still cool. I love watching the behind the scenes because they were showing like they had a guy hold up a cardboard Falcon Zord and they had like rattles in front of the camera to represent the missiles. It's pretty cool.
It's awesome. Wait, so they like make a miniaturized set for the city and then...
Yeah, this is all a miniature. This whole city, it's a miniature.
Okay, and so they just put the...
And they put the CG, over
on top of it. Gotcha.
Yeah. I think somebody was actually playing as the Ectomorphicons, but like for the bears and all that, I think that was just like hand puppets or something. They just had somebody stand there. Yeah, now this, I have no idea. That is freaky.
It made sense to me just because Ivan's shown to be a shapeshifter and...
But how is he shapeshifting metal?
You act as if conservation of mass has been a thing in this show. Imagine how cool it would have been to make this a practical effect.
Yeah. I like how Gold actually flies. Yeah. This is the first time he's
to have Paul Reitman in like a suit like this.
Yeah.
Now that would have been cool for a Zord fight.
I love how he has the tower as his weapon. Now watch when they do the Megazord because you'll see that the Crane Zord is already on top of the bear before it flies in. Not in this shot, but the next shot you see the torso.
Wow, these things make no mechanical sense. Just look
at the giant gear inside.
Yeah.
The giant springs. Yeah, there's the crane's head.
What the heck?
See, it's already on top, and then she flies in. And again, that looks nothing like the Ninja Megazord from the series. And it's actually smaller when you think about it.
It's about 100 feet.
And they have the Shogun Megazord Saber.
Coolest weapon in the original series, if you ask me.
And then, of course, Tommy's got to save the kids. I love how he knows that the kids are on the monorail. And, of course, now he flies. It just happens to be the perfect size. And despite
the perfect width.
And despite the fact that they are off the track, they are still able to travel on its back. Oh, Hero Bank. That's funny. I never noticed that.
And that thing just travels over it perfectly.
Yeah, that... What?
That thing only looks like it's about 100 feet tall.
Yeah, I mean, when you get the Rangers in the cockpit, you can see the scale of it. It doesn't look that big.
You can see the scale of it just by comparing it to the buildings around it.
Yeah, I mean, but I think it's probably taller than the... Well, 47 meters is how many feet?
That's somewhere around 120.
Yeah, so the Dino Megazord is actually taller than this dude. Now, I actually like this when he threw him because that was like, wow. You don't really see him throw Megazords like that a lot.
Yeah.
I think last time they did it was with the Dragon Zord. And it gives Tommy a great opportunity to just come in and dock with him laying down. Mega Falcon Megazord. Did we have to put Mega in there twice?
Hey, you see once you get to watching Megaforce, you'll see how obsessed they get with the word Mega.
Mm-hmm. And so they fly away. I like how the Rangers are retreating.
Yeah. Well, I do understand their tactics here.
Yeah. Now look at the lighting on this. That I think the Quarry scenes have the best lighting.
It's interesting how they juggle so many different colors.
Exactly.
At the edge of the cliff, they had red light, and then the backlight is green.
And look at the blue, and then everybody's in purple.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Really
That's pretty cool, them
up.
coming out of the purple fog. And Vulcan's skull, of course. And I do like how they do hold them back, because two things. One, it's practical. They're pushing them. They're trying the hydraulic water thing. Of course, how Fred and Vulcan Skull know how to use it is a big question. But I also like how the kids would have failed if the Power Rangers didn't win.
I could buy that Vulcan Skull would know how to operate a random crane.
Now, why is Ooze following them?
Because he's pissed off and wants vengeance for them destroying the Scorpion.
Yeah. And now this is where that brings in the Comet, because they have been gone for 3 days, according to the continuity. So looking back, it makes sense. It's just like, wow, I was really surprised about that when I went back and watched it last.
I didn't notice that until you pointed it out.
Yeah, I'm just full of random facts. Somebody has to make a commentary and point this out, because they didn't make one for the DVD. I don't know if the new DVD has it, but the flipper doesn't have it. And again, this shot would have been better if it was Bulk and Skull rising up.
Mm-hmm. This could have been such a great character moment for them.
Yeah, but at least, I like the idea they at least got to direct.
Mm-hmm.
Now I like the shot coming up with Rita and Zed in the snow globe. And I was just laughing as a little kid when they're like...
Random flyby on the moon for no reason.
Because we forget about Zed and Rita. But it's like, go Rangers!
Go Rangers!
That is cool. Now, okay, I take it back. So... we're about to see Aisha's only contribution in this movie.
And it involves kicking Ivan in the dong.
It is the dumbest contribution they could come up with.
Bam. I love how they have... and yet they were just close to the surface of the moon, and now they're...
well, they probably went down, came back up to get into orbit, because that's what Billy says he gets into orbit. Or the
but yes,
trajectory.
You see, there's a scale right there.
And of course, we should mention that is not a comet, that is an asteroid.
Yeah, emergency use only, and the emergency use only button is for kicking things in the nuts.
You would think it'd be self-destruct. It would have meant more if they would have just like left the other Zords but escaped in the Falcon Zord or the crane, basically. Yeah, comets... that's not a comet. That is an asteroid. Because comets are made of ice.
That would have been a cool explosion.
Yeah, ice explosion.
An ice explosion.
Yeah. Yeah, so again, now Ivan's destroyed, the parents are safe, and again, it's just really odd when you think about...
Happy! Spell's broken, yay.
Yeah, we did absolutely nothing.
Of course, they have to have a great romantic moment.
Yes.
What the hell are you doing on top of that crane?
Do the parents remember being zombies? That's my first question.
Who cares?
And now we get
the filmmakers sure didn't.
Yes. And then just too late.
Or is it?
Yeah.
Your tamale unfortunately passed away.
Yeah, no emotion from Alpha. Tommy's got like the best emotion there, it looks like. Yeah, Karen Ashley, not really. Adam's like, are we done yet?
Check his watch.
Yeah, he looks like he's waiting for the bus.
Well, he's
now
I got my powers, so I don't need him anymore.
Now, how does Tommy come to the conclusion that they can hold hands and...
When did she say that anything was possible to those who possess the great power? She never said that.
And then how did he learn that? I mean, I'm trying to figure out the moral lesson of this movie, because if it's not the consumerism thing, then what is it exactly? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
The message is buy our toys.
Okay, I'm sure the screenwriter probably had something else. I don't even know who the screenwriter is. And I will say this, the guy who directed this movie, he went on to direct episodes of 24. But this was his first feature film. Brian Spicer, I think is his name. And I just wonder why they got a first-time director. They didn't get somebody established. I mean, yeah, they're not going to get Lucas or Spielberg or anything like that, but somebody who has maybe done a few movies before.
Maybe because respected directors weren't going to touch a children's television show based on Japanese stock footage.
Hey, Chris Columbus was respected, and yet he did Jingle All the Way.
Oh, Jesus. But then he gave us the greatest line ever. Put that cookie down.
Yes.
Oh, I'm back. Yeah, you just brought me back to life. By the way, we're also repairing the power center.
Yeah, which I have no clue.
Machine repair pulse!
And I'm still figuring... Okay, so he's in another dimension, but he is physically in the command center. See, that's something I never understood even in the series, because if he's physically...
Dad, we thought you... Oh, he's alive.
Yeah.
So she's like, we thought you had, and he says, it's good to see you again, too. What?
Yes. Come on. Celebration tonight. Oh, I love that banner.
That line of dialogue makes no sense.
And look, barely in the movie, and yet still being Balkan Skull. Are they eating lobster or crab? Oh, that's crab. What am I thinking? Look at all that crab.
Jeez.
So basically, this was the last thing they did film for the movie. All those people in the back are basically people who worked on the production.
Cool.
So this was like the last day.
The rat party?
This was the rat party, pretty much. They filmed these scenes.
Hey, now that's being economical with your time and resources.
And now I could be making this up, but if I understand correctly, this whole thing with the Thank You Power Rangers and fireworks was actually done by the city of Sydney, because like it pumped money into their local economy or something. So they're like, yeah, here's this, and then yeah, they used it in the movie pretty much.
I'm just waiting for Rita to shoot for Lord Zed to shoot a magical bolt at the at that lobster, create a monster.
Commander Crayfish.
Yes.
Hey, if anything, this movie does have a good soundtrack.
Oh god, it's the early '90s distilled.
Yeah, this whole thing right there, that was like from the city, I believe, if I'm right.
Sweet.
Yeah. And notice how it's almost like in the Power Ranger font.
Bulk and Skull, yes. No, see, that would have been that. You know, if we would have went off that idea we had of Bulk and Skull,
then they would have had a right to be jealous.
That would have been like a perfect. I wonder if that was. That may have even been considered some way. I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, they didn't do the cop thing till later, of course. Oh. So now we're into the credits. We're going to keep talking for a minute because this is the first post-credit scene that I ever remember seeing. And, of course, then the Avengers and Iron Man and all this started doing it.
Oh, yeah. It's Toei. Oh, wow. They actually acknowledged Toei.
Yeah. I think they had something to do with this. I don't know what, but if
they probably got a royalty check at the end of it. So.
Yeah. Bulk and Skull. And Paul Freeman as Ivan Ooze.
So, when's this show up? Okay, cool.
Ah, yes. I love this. King Goldar. Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, that's awesome.
All right, so before we go ahead and end, we just did the commentary for the entire movie. What do you think looking back on it now, looking 18 years later at this film?
I think just because you have CGI doesn't mean you should use it.
I would agree with that.
Also, the Rangers look like major tools in this movie.
Yeah, it seems to be less about them. We do get less character development out in this movie. But I think they can be forgiven in some ways because, this is a standalone movie, but this was also at the height of the popularity of the series. And the film really didn't take a lot into explaining who these people are. Other than the prologue, we are meant to know who these people are. We are meant to know their backstories.
We just assume...
Which is, it's a failing in the movie to be sure and all that. But again, that's looking at 18 years later. When this movie came out, it's not Digimon. Let's put it that way.
Oh God, the Digimon movie. Oh yeah, at least this movie. Yes, at least this movie isn't a hybrid of 3 unrelated movies.
It is a hybrid of 3 unrelated television series, but that's getting deeper into it. Okay, so we're done with the commentary. We hope you guys enjoy it. Maybe we'll come back with Turbo Power Rangers movie, maybe one of the 2-part episodes. We'll see. We'll see where this takes us. Yeah.
Oh God, speaking of Turbo, they just had to bring back the most controversial part of the Turbo era, didn't they?
Okay, we'll talk about that later. But we want to thank you guys for joining us today. Enjoy your week, and the tavern is now closed.